It's take like I said, for the example with the clothing, I wouldn't have been able to do the thing as I want to do with the clothing simply because the models weren't there. But since they have the physics engine in it, now I can. Kate, Grandma, Greaser, Kid Outfit, Valentine. Yeah, so this is the one we want. Extract to Cloud 4 stuff, original file, select folder. Let those all extract. Probably going to need the material files as well. File, open file. Because that's kind of the one annoying thing I've been finding with Fallout 4 is that they, instead of directly attaching textures to models like they did in Skyrim, they attach material files to meshes, and then those material files are a single file that references several different texture files. So, I mean, tinkering with material files in order to get them to show the right texture files has been a pain in my ass for a while. Alright, so let's see. Data, not meshes we want. Materials, thankfully materials is only one file. Turn all that off, we want clothing. Yeah, it looks like everything that we want is in here. Yeah. Extract. Recent places. Select folder. So we're done with that. Let's go out to this one. We want to go over to textures, close. Let's see. Piper should be in here somewhere. Piper. So it's only got the female body in here, which is fine. So yeah, you can see here how this one has got all of the modifications to the looks and how it visually looks. Now, does it show alpha mapping? Yeah, see, look here. So you can see the alpha map shows where it's basically going to get see-through. So, if I wanted to make a repaired version of Piper's outfit, what I'd have to do is not only remove the alpha maps here, but also repair this. So I could use like the smudge tool or whatever. This would take some time to do, but I'll do a quick overview of how I would do it for maybe the clone stamp tool. Zoom in really close. Make it a little bit bigger. See, with the clone stamp tool, I just go through maybe make it a tiny bit bigger. And basically work my way through all of these little bits here to fix them. Try to make them as, make them as opaque as possible. Then I'd save a version of this without the... Now, since I'm just changing the texture map, I could literally just drop this into the game and Piper would have a repaired outfit. But if I want to make it an alternate version, then I'd have to make a new material file and a bunch of other stuff like that. But you can see here, but just by removing that and then not exporting it with an alpha map, I would basically have a fixed version of Piper's outfit. Similarly, Piper body before closing, no. A bit of Piper here. We want to go over to close texture Valentine D. That's the what's it called? Dispersal map, something like that. So you can see here. Here's the outfit. So I basically have to do the same thing, coloring over the patches here. I probably also have to modify the normal map. So we go and take a look at Valentine. The normal map determines the small bumps in a model. So you can see, like here, I'd have to go through and smooth out the patch here and in a few other places. So I have to smooth out the patch that's visible on the normal map there. But then, when you load this alternate version into the game, Valentine's outfit would be fixed. You wouldn't have big patches everywhere. You can also see about lightening up the color as well. But yeah, you can see here, Valentine's outfit's really kind of battered to shit, isn't it? I'd have to repair that. I'd have to repair... yeah, I'd have to repair these. So in theory, I could take this one here and copy it across. So I'd wonder if the seams would match. Because this was built so it matches the seams of some other part of the armor. So so as easy as it might be to simply copy this and paste it over here, as you can see, the dirt patterns aren't quite the same. But of course, another thing I could do is just remove the dirt itself. So I could just find like a patch of color like here that I like, and apply that to the entire thing. And that would give it all be clean, but it might not look the best. So, like I said, with the Valentine's outfit, it's going to be a little bit of tinkering around to figure out the best way to do it. I think the best way I would do it is first use the clone stamp tool to get rid of all of the little imperfections. So then you have a dirty, worn trench coat. And then from there, I'd make a clean faded trench coat. Of course, technically it wouldn't be faded trench coat anymore. It'd just be the dirty trench coat and then clean trench coat. So you'd have the faded trench coat, dirty trench coat, clean trench coat. All from just modifying the texture files, because the meshes themselves have no damage on them. Yeah. Won't that be fun to do? Now, let's see. Now, I also need to access the material editor, which I believe is still located here. Material editor, yep. Material editor is another tool we modders use. So I want to go open up the material file for Valentine's outfit, which is here, here, here. Material files, close. Valentine. There we go. So you can see here, this is what references the particular texture file, and the actual material file used for Valentine's coat is talking about, it loads this material file, and this material file loads the 3 textures it's attached. I don't know how much more efficient that is, but that's what Bethesda decided to do. So then you can just change up the material file, but then the material file that you change up, you also have to change up the textures inside of it. You can see it's got its own kind of weirdness to it. And this applies to every object in the game. A bottle of Nuka-Cola is going to have a material file with 3 or 4 different texture files attached to it. Like there'll be one for glow maps with like a Nuka-Cola Quantum, for example. The glow textures, environment map textures. The environment map textures is how I got the chrome on the Silver Shroud's outfit. It's an environment map texture. Let's see. But you can see there's some interesting additional ones. Wrinkles texture, displacement map. And there's settings here for like what it looks like when it's wet, what modifiers to put on it. Let's see. Can it receive shadows? Is it backlight? Does it emit backlighting? Does it cast shadows? Glow map. All this fun stuff. But that's 40 minutes of just looking at the game file, so why don't we jump into the game itself and pick up where we left off, shall we? And I'll upload this to BoobTube later as its own file, which will be like, what, 3 files? Because I'm limited to 15 minutes. So 15:30, yeah, so it'll be 3 files. That's kind of a bummer. And I can actually show you a bit, because I was talking about how the Silver Shroud outfit, I separated the gloves out. Well, now you can see, because I actually separated the gloves out, and then I basically modified my gloves with a new legendary effect. I put the Unyielding legendary effect on my gloves, because I modified the Unyielding effect off camera as well, to try and fix that thing where it was going, where I was sort of freaking out when my health was between 2 ranges. So I tinkered with that a bit. And I also changed its description. So we'll see how well that works now. Also, the way I originally had it, it was doing something weird, like when you're, because originally the way I was reading it is that they were exclusive. So if your health was below 75%, it would give you +1. But it's not an exclusive system, so it was saying, so if your health's below 75%, add +1 to all specials. If your health is below 50%, add 2 to your specials, because I thought it would deactivate the 75% one. What it was doing was if your health is below 50%, it was doing, since 50% is below 75%, it was adding the 1 from 75, and then an additional 2 on top of that for 50. And then the same thing at 25. So at 25% health, you were getting 3, 4, 5, 6 to your specials, as opposed to 1, 2, 3. So I modified it so it's just +1 at each thing. So when you're below 75, you get +1. When you're below 50, you get an additional +1. When you're below 25, you're getting an additional +1. And because of the radiation damage that I've taken, I'm below 75. So if we look here in my specials, you'll see everything's boosted by 1. Look, intelligence is actually at 2! And if we actually look at the gloves, so I updated the description. +1 to all stats when you're at 75, 50, 25, or less health, up to a maximum of +3. So we can see here I'm getting strength, +1, perception, +1, endurance, +1, charisma, +1, intelligence, +1, agility, +1, luck, +1. And when I drop below 50% health, what will happen is you'll actually see on this another stack of all those things. So it'll be massive. We see it kind of as well when I go to, which one is it? The one that gives me my radiation buff. So see here. Here's a perfect example. Because of the amount of radiation that I have +2 to strength, and it's displaying it as strength +1, strength +1, and as I get more and more radiation, you'll see another strength +1, strength +1, strength +1, strength +1, strength +1, strength +1, strength +1. And as you can see here now, if I were to click and remove the leather gloves, I am the Silver Shroud! Without gloves. Alright, well that should cover all the fun mod stuff, and we almost hit 45